Like putting 100% focus on this one thing. Yeah.
I'm recalling the part where I was manually labeling the data.
I know, that's insane.
Like certain company hackathons where people are forced to be there.
Yes.
And you can feel it. It's like,
yeah, see, that's why.
Okay.
How I find hackathons, right? Because people say, where do I look for hackathons? Yeah, I kind of like to call it limit testing, because in a way you're testing your limits, how far you can go in that short amount
limit
of time.
testing. Oh.
Yeah, because I definitely limit test how much I can go without sleep. That was fun.
Girl, not a good limit test.
Yeah, but I limit test also my capabilities. In a short amount of time, how fast can I learn a new technology and implement it directly into an app or something, or use a certain like following requirements from a company, and like how do I actually hit all these user stories, you know, in a short amount of time. I think that is part of the limit testing. Another limit testing is communication skills, because when you work in a team for the first time, like you never meet these people before, you don't know their work style, you don't know their communication style. How much can you achieve with new group of people within a short amount of time? That also tests how good you are at communicating yourself, how good you are at leadership, like, you know, putting your points across and organizing people, priorities, tasks, and all that. So these are all part of what I call limit testing, you know, because I'm testing my limit and see how much potential there is. And then the next hackathon, I will look back in my previous hackathon, what went wrong, what I can improve on next time, and then I'll reiterate that. So in a way, it's kind of like constant learning for me. That's what I like about hackathon. But now that we have discussed about, you know, the pros of being in hackathons, maybe we can talk about the other side of the spectrum. Why would someone not join hackathons, or like why basically? Like, is there another side to that discussion?
Actually, Saloni, you can understand this because you haven't been participating in hackathons for a while. Why?
So one thing is that you have to be ready for the time commitment, right? So like 48 hours, you're actually giving, you have to probably give the whole 48 hours to just the hackathon. So taking out that much time, like even 7 days, it is a little bit stressful. That, you know, I mean, if you want to commit to it, you'll have to give time to it. So one thing would be time commitment. Second, I feel like at least it happened to me, where we would form a team with like strangers, and first day everyone's like super enthusiastic, yes, we're gonna do this, you do this, and then the next day they just disappear, right? So that could happen, and that's when, you know, then you'll have to pick up the slack and work on things, and like, or try to understand, or there might be some conflict because again, you don't know the communication style, you might hurt the person or step on a person, or the other person steps on you, so there'll be communication issues happening there. That you'll be like, you know what, this not worth it, I'll just leave as well, or I'll stay and I'll do a lot of more things. So there's those kind of issues. Third would be okay, I'll tell you when I can think of it. So just
There's only 3 things on there, don't worry about
3
it.
is a good number. That's why.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
So
We'll let you think about it.
those are the kind of reasons right now actually that I'm not. But and now that you have, like, you know, put it out there, maybe if I see one that is fitting into like my schedule.
Yeah, and your ideas. If it's, you know, a good place to like showcase your ideas. You might, you know. And also, if you're looking for like team members to work on the idea, you might also. So I can imagine. I think I'm also in the same space. I cannot see myself like participating in a hackathon like for this year at least, like because I'm already feeling a lot of burnout from like work and like other stuff. So again, because of the time commitment, because of the intensity, you're basically like putting 100% focus on this one thing.
I'm recalling the part where I was manually labeling the data.
I know, that's insane. Like, how many you basically have to put like 26 hours out, 24 hours every day. That's why you were like rate limiting. I mean, limit testing your sleep, right? Probably because of this. It's a huge time commitment, but it is very, very rewarding in a short amount of time. It's just more of like you do have to like note the burnout that might happen after, do take into like account your commitment levels for other things at that point, and whether you're mentally ready to go into like a very like intensive boot camp kind of environment, you know. But if you do have like the mental capacity, you know, like we would encourage like people to join, especially, you know, especially if you haven't joined one before and you're trying to understand like what it's like. Yeah, definitely take the plunge when you have that mental capacity to do so, for reasons such as like, you know, meeting new people, testing out your own startup ideas, or just like trying to understand like more of the tech world in general,
and pick up some new skills.
Pick up new skills too. Victoria would highly recommend it. Yeah, so I think, and if you need recommendations, she's a really good person to go to, hackathon queen at this point.
Yeah, so actually maybe that segue to this is that how I find hackathons, right? Because people say, where do I look for hackathons? So I went to this website called devpost.com. Yeah, so actually maybe we'll link it in the video description, because devpost.com, they will always have hackathons ready for you to like see and participate. They even have ones that they'll say upcoming, so you can prepare ahead of time what you need to learn. So let's say upcoming hackathon is about this AI tool that you have to integrate. Then you can study up beforehand, but you must not build the project yet. So only when the hackathon starts, then you build the project. So there's a lot of these hackathons on devpost.com, and you can get like mini awards and all that. Like
the monetary reward, we didn't talk about that. Yeah, some of them can like be really like really large rewards as well. I think. But then you have to split it amongst the team. That's when it becomes smaller. But that's okay. Yeah, I won like a few. But so you get like, it's nice. You get $200.
It's nice. Yeah, definitely. But I don't want people to go in just for the external motivation of the money, because at the end of the day, it is about, I think, the soft rewards are more rewarding, right? Like being able to learn and meet new people. I think that is like the main part. So going back to Saloni's point and your point about like why would someone not join hackathons, in my perspective, I agree with you guys about the mental capacity and time commitment. Another thing I would like to add is about having no goals. So let's say you don't have a goal joining a hackathon, right? Then it's hard to reflect on what you get out of it. Like some people, they would go in kind of lost, say like, oh, I'll figure out what to do when I'm there. But then in the end, they just hang around, stick around, and like just stick on the wall and not connecting with people or anything. I'm talking about physical hackathons. so they'll be like, in the end, it's just an event they go to, and then they get out without taking away much. Like maybe the only thing they took away is, oh, so this is what it looks like, a hackathon. But I would prefer if like you go in a hackathon, you have a goal. Like, is it to connect with people? Because some people, you don't have to build a project at the end of the hackathon. Some people, they just go in solely to meet new people. That's also fine. So if that's your goal, then that's also something you can do, right? Let's say you own a startup and you want to like, you know, find some people that, you know, potentially you can hire in your team or something. That's also something that is, you know, common goals for hackathon. So basically, that's what I kind of encourage. Like, you should have a goal going into
there are also
hackathons.
like certain company hackathons where people are forced to be there. And you can feel it. It's like,
see, that's why.
Okay.
Before we move on to talk more about hackathons, we would like to introduce you to an upcoming hackathon, Hack Singapore. Hack Singapore is part of the Global Hackathon series by Angel Hack. It takes place on 25 and 26 May 2024. It's a 24-hour in-person overnight hackathon, and there will be non-stop innovation, learning, and networking. This year's themes are financial inclusion, social responsibility, digital empowerment. Prizes worth up to $180,000 to be won. So do register on their website and see you there.
Oh my gosh, internal company hackathons. Do not get me started on that. Yeah, but you have that too?
I had it in like my previous companies, and we were just like, so besides working my 9 to 5, I now also have to work 6 to 9 again.
Honestly, I do not like the idea of that because I'm paid for that job. But I feel like it's a very I'm sorry to companies who do this, but like it's a very lazy way of like trying to solicit ideas within your company instead of like, actually paying somebody dedicated to solve this problem, because you're not like paying people extra for it either. But okay, that's I feel like that's gonna be like I might get cancelled for it. But yeah, I just don't do well with like company-based like internal hackathons. Yeah, you need that problem solved. Go hire somebody to actually build a proper team rather than like
or don't expect like a deliverable at the end of it. Like maybe just get ideas out, maybe.
Because people have jobs.
Yeah. And we're not getting overtime pay for that.
Unless, but a good idea would be to pay people overtime for their ideas, reward people for that.
Maybe some company have internal hackathons where they will get rewarded, for those things. Yeah, but so that's why it depends on the individual. If let's say this individual is super passionate about solving their company's problem, then it's really good for them. It motivates them, maybe like it helps them some distance from their current job, and then they can take some time off to work on the hackathon, and if their managers allow them to do that, then that's also a good thing. So I would say use case depends from one person to another. We don't want to say like it's completely bad or anything.
Exactly. I mean, the TLDR is that like we said, it takes a lot of mental capacity and time to like generate ideas in such a small amount of time and develop prototypes for it. So because of that, if you're participating in external hackathons, like that's why you have to make sure you're in a good mental space to do that. It's a lot of commitment. And for company wise, I'm not saying like don't do it, but acknowledge that these are hard things to come by. You would pay like an actual individual outside, like consultancies or something, to do this job. So make sure you reward your people and acknowledge the effort put in, and don't just take it for granted that people, it's not easy to come up with ideas. It's even harder to like materialize those ideas. So that's basically it.
So I think we can move on to about like hackathon. Like let's say someone is very new in hackathon, right? And they're scared to like attend one. Like what are some hackathon tips? Because I think the first thing I struggle with when I join a hackathon is forming a team, because I don't know anyone, right? I don't know what they do, and like you have to form a team like in a really short amount of time, and suddenly you see like all around the room everyone already team up, and then you're like, oh no.
You know why they team up? They come as a team,
right?
So that was gonna be my advice. Like I used to go with my friend. So like a different friend, so even like it was her first time as well, so I'll bring my second time, so I'll be like, no, you should come, you should like see how it is. So then at least I'm together with her. I usually be in a team with her and a few other people, so at least if nothing else I have a partner there already.
That's a good strategy.
So I usually go in pairs, or like if you already have like a full formed team, go ahead, that's even better.
But if your goal is that you currently don't have people that you can connect with, and your goal going into the hackathon is to meet new people, then the strategy would be to like on the onset of that hackathon to just kind of like put yourself out there to talk to one person at least. Like just make that your goal. I want to talk to one person. That person will likely have the same goal. You see? So if you reach out to them first, you both would have fulfilled that goal, and now you have like you don't have to bring like that pair buddy. You just meet one. So I would say that that's the next strategy. Like have the upfront like confidence investment to just reach out to somebody to talk, because 95% of the time they are in the same spot and they're just like, I just need to talk to someone.
And definitely
another thing was that usually these hackathons have a theme around it, right? So like I went for one which was edutech, education, technology stuff, and there's one for like green living or something. So only go for it if you're interested in that topic or in that theme, because you should have some background about what that space is, and then you can find problems or solution and see if the solution even works out for that problem space. You can talk about things if the theme matches with your with yourself. So that's another thing. Go for familiar or interested topics.
Interested is important, because some people, they go in with the intention to learn, so they might not be familiar yet, but they want to learn from other people. So interested, you'll find people who have around the same interests as you, right? Like for me, I went to a game development one.
Of course you did.
And of course I meet other game developers from there. So then I learned about other game technologies that I can use for my future games, and I was like, oh, this is so cool, So it's always about enhancing yourself, your interests, and even widening your scope of interests by just exploring like your curious fields, interests, and all that. That's I think what makes hackathon such an enjoyable experience. I would say, like you guys mentioned, it really depends on what you're looking for, and like whether you have the mental capacity to do it. But at the end of the day, you should just do it.
it will always be rewarding. So just know that the investment has returns, you know. But it's just like also make sure that you are in the right space to make that investment in the first place, so you don't burn out.
And whether you win or not, there's something that you take away from that. So a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, I lost, so I got discouraged.
I see a lot of people who are actually really discouraged because they see the whole thing as like my entire idea just got like invalidated. But that's not the case. It's about like what you take away beyond like the tangible rewards. It's the journey. It's that whole practice and exercise of like knowing what it takes to like pitch your idea and how to iterate on it.
And at least you know now that your idea does not really, work out or help in this kind of problem statement. At least you know it earlier. Imagine you have built like a full-fledged app for it and then get rejected later. So in a way, sometimes short-term pain is better than the long-term.
No pain, no gain.
Oh yeah, no pain, no gain. That's also. I was thinking there was a Chinese proverb where it's like
a Chinese proverb.
Yeah, short-term pain, like short-term sharp pain.
You want to say it in Chinese?
I forgot in Chinese. I translated it.
Google Translate. But I think all in all, I think we can all surmise that like hackathons are really beneficial. There are a lot of benefits, be it like meeting new people, learning how to validate an idea, putting yourself out there to learn presentation skills, and many more rewards that are beyond the actual like tangible $2,000 like reward kind of thing. It's about the journey, learning new things, meeting new people. But at the same time, we want to put it out there that definitely they do take a lot of mental capacity. They do take a lot of time. So do make sure that you are in the right time and space to do one. Instead of thinking that, I am obliged to like go hackathon after hackathon in order to prove myself as a good developer or something. Like, don't do that. If you burn out, that's even worse. But beyond that, like Victoria recommended a really good platform to look for hackathons if you're looking for it. What is it called?
devpost.com.
devpost.com. And if you want to know more about even hackathons beyond devpost.com, like leave it in the comments below your questions, or if you know hackathons and you're trying to get more people to join a hackathon, like leave them in the comments all across our platforms. We would love to see them. We would love to share that word also. So as always, this was a great episode. I think we talked a lot about hackathons. I didn't realize we had so much to talk about hackathons. Like even as somebody who has haven't joined a hackathon in a long time, we had a lot to talk about it. But as always, we hope you enjoyed this episode. And this was ragTech, and see you for the next episode. Bye. Bye.